Okay, my friends, here it is. The video that is going to give you some very sound advice on how to prepare for virtually any type of emergency. Some general advice. Because yesterday we had a wonderful experience with a well-known prepper, the Pinball Preparedness channel. And so I'm going to give you guys the opportunity to sit on the front porch with us during this experience and receive some of this wisdom. So as many of you know, we recently went down to Tennessee for a big garden installation project, which many videos will be coming soon of that experience. But on the way back, I thought, hey, let me hit up Pinball Preparedness because I know he was in Tennessee because I've been watching his videos and see what he thinks about a collaboration. And so he said, yeah, sure, let's come on over, let's have a conversation. And so we did on the way back in a nice place out in the mountains, and it was a beautiful day. The breeze was blowing, as you can hear a little bit in the audio, but it was a wonderful time. The sun was shining, the lake was out front, and just a couple of guys having a good conversation. And so I invite you to sit in on this, and hopefully you can gain something from it. Okay, my friends, here it is. Today I got a special one for you because I am here with the Pinball Preparedness. Stop by his beautiful place in the mountains, and I just want to give him the opportunity to give some very useful and practical advice to you. So, Pinball, what is the definition of prepping?
Okay, there's a hell of a question to start out with. Basically, it is being ready for any sort of emergency situation that you may encounter. I mean, be it small, be it medium, be it large, whatever would be. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, again, there's no one size fits all to prepping. So you got to look at my particular situation. What could possibly happen to me? You know, what could be my SHTF, shit hits the fan event? You know, and it could be something as small as a job loss or death in a family. It could be, I don't know, a hurricane, a wildfire, a tornado. God knows we've seen enough of those lately. Okay. It could be a financial collapse. It could be war with China. What do you think is going to happen, and how are you going to prepare yourself to be able to cope and continue to survive and thrive? There's a big difference between surviving and living. Okay. You know, where you can still maintain a sense of normalcy while the rest of the world is going crazy. You know, when everybody else is running around to the store going, oh my God, I need toilet paper. You know, please, you know, you don't want to be that person that's running into Walmart going, toilet paper, paper towels, hand sanitizer, whatever it is. You know, I got that taken care of. You know, you go, okay, moving on. You know, that's what prepping is. It's being ready for a situation before it happens, as opposed to panicking when it happens.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, I like that definition a lot. And so for the viewers that are just sort of getting into this kind of thing, what would you say would be the three most important or foundational aspects that they need to focus on in order to be prepared?
Again, that depends on their personal situation, okay? You know, if you're worried about a job loss, that's a here and now, okay? Do I have enough food, because I'm not going to have the income to go to the grocery store? Do I have enough cash put back in the house to pay the mortgage, the car payment, the electric bill, whatever it would be, because I don't have an income or whatever pittance you're getting on unemployment or whatever? Can you make it through until you find another job? Okay, maybe it's a moderate size event. You know, you live in Florida, you live on the Gulf Coast, it's a hurricane. Okay, those things happen. You know, are you prepared for something like that? Do you already have sheets of plywood to put over your window? Or are you going to be one of those whack jobs that goes, oh my God, I've got to run to Home Depot now with the 80 million other people that want plywood and they're out? Okay, you know, it's the same thing. There's a snowstorm coming. I live in New York. Gee, maybe I should go out and buy a snowblower. Now, the idea of time to do that would have been August. Okay. Are you preparing maybe for, you think the economy is going to collapse, or we're going to war with China, or whatever? Prepping is very individualistic. You've got to figure out what you think personally is going to be the most critical thing for you, so you can get to get to the other side, because the tornado will pass, the hurricane will pass. You will find another job. God forbid we don't go nuclear and the world will continue afterwards. How are you going to make it through the event so you can come out the other side? Because there's going to be a whole lot of people that aren't going to come out the other side, and you don't want to be one of them.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, so my next question is that being a content creator myself with my own channel, we receive a lot of questions. And so I'm curious from you, what are the 3 most commonly asked questions from your viewers, and what are your responses to those?
What should I do next is the most common question I get. Somebody will say, I've got my 3 months, 6 months, a year's worth of food put away. What should I do next? Or, again, because it's so individualistic, it's a hard question to answer. And you look at what people have got going on. That would be the first question I have. But, I mean, the things that you have to take care of first, when people, my answer to that one all the time is, have you got your food taken care of? Have you got your water taken care of? Have you got your shelter taken care of? Basic needs, okay? Again, prepping is all about needs. Screw the wants, okay? Oh, I want a new iPhone. That's not prepping, okay? Having a spare iPhone is not prepping, okay? Having cans of beans and mason jars full of whatever you got or whatever, having water purifiers or bottled water, that's priority, okay? Having a water source. I mean, you saw the pond and everything like that. I've got multiple ways to purify water, multiple ways to get water. I mean, the lake, the pond, the well, all that sort of stuff. What are crucial needs? Your shelter, okay? Is your house paid for? Okay? If your house is not paid for and the world goes to hell, you're still going to owe you on your bills, okay? It's not like the bank goes, you know what, we're at war, we're not going to charge you for your mortgage anymore. They're going, we want the check, okay? There's an issue. You live in an apartment, okay? You live in New York City or Chicago or Boston or something like that. Probably not the best place to be. What is your plan to go somewhere else, okay? And not to be a nomad, not to be a refugee. Do you have somewhere to go? Whether it's grandma's house out in the country or whatever it is, don't just say, well, if everything goes to hell, I'm just leaving. Where are you going? Because if you don't have a plan to go somewhere, you're just a refugee. So that would be one. The funniest question I get all the time, which is one both of us agree on, is, when do I plant X?
Oh, yeah.
It's like, okay, I live in Tennessee. He lives in Indiana. Totally different climates, okay? He gets a lot of snow. I get a couple inches a year, okay? We're sitting out here, it's mid-April. It's in the 80s today, okay? I'm betting up in Indiana, northern Indiana, it's not 80 degrees today. The when do I plant something is always funny, because if you're planting, growing, prepping anything in Boston, it's totally different than you're prepping, growing, planting, doing anything in Phoenix, okay? Everything is not the same. It's why I insist to everybody that prepping is very individualistic. You got to gather all the information and then figure out what works best for you. The third question that I get most of the time is in regards to finance, and that probably has a lot to do with my background. But what do I do about the stock market? What do I do about my Social Security? What do I do about CBDC? What do I do about gold and silver? And again, I can help a little bit and give you ideas, but and going back to my days as a financial advisor, what works for you may not work for you, may not work for me, whatever would be. It's different for everybody. So again, you got to look at, okay, what is realistic for me to do? I can tell you, well, go out and put $100,000 into gold and go out and put $400,000 into silver, and you're going, yeah, I got $20 in my checking account. Okay. It doesn't work that way. You can't, there isn't a one size fits all. But the one thing I will say about anything when it comes to finance, my opinion, okay, I'm saying this as an individual, be very, very, very leery about what's going on in the world right now. We all saw Silicon Valley Bank collapse. It can happen to you, okay? My bank's fine. Yeah, right. That's what a whole bunch of people in California and a whole bunch of people in New York said a couple of weeks ago until they went to the ATM machine and says, doesn't work, okay? And they told these people, oh, it's going to be 6 months till they get their money out. The government came in and bailed everybody out, right? Take a guess how many banks are in the country. The government can't bail them all out. There's going to be somebody that's going to be left holding an ATM card going, well, I had 10 grand in the bank and now I got nothing. What are your plans? Do you have something in backup? Do you have money at home? It's all a big circle, guys. It's thinking about what is most critical to you. What could possibly happen to you? I don't worry about hurricanes here in the mountains of Tennessee. I don't prep for them, okay? But economically is a concern for me. Fire around here, living in the woods, that's a concern for me. Inflation, that should concern all of us, okay? Those are things that you can all prepare for. How are you handling those situations? What are you doing to nip inflation in the bud? Are you growing your own food, okay? Everything, I mean, come on.
You better be.
Both of us will really harp on people about growing food.
That's number one.
But everything that you grow is one less thing that you have to buy at the grocery store, which means it's one more dollar you have to pay the electric bill. Because, and I'm not going to get into generators and all this sort of stuff, because I got ways to do power and everything like that too. All right, but a penny saved is a penny earned. Well, if I save a penny by growing my own tomatoes, that means I can put it somewhere else instead of go to the store and buy tasteless red balls of whatever the hell they are. Mm-hmm. How about that?
Yep, sounds good. Okay, so I want to give you a scenario for some of the viewers because it's very individualistic, meaning that people are going to have different requirements for where they're at. So I'm just going to give you a scenario. Okay. Let us say that I am a single father living in a city. I've got a kid or two, and I'm living paycheck to paycheck. Yet I'm very concerned about what is happening in the world because I'm paying attention to things. So what is your advice?
All right, the first thing you need to think about is the kids. Flat out, pure and simple, no holds barred, that's it. How are you going to feed the kids? We didn't, in the scenario, you didn't tell me if they're toddlers or teenagers. I mean, you and I both know how teenage boys eat. Okay, it's like, there goes your entire paycheck at the grocery store. But you got to feed the kids, okay? Unhappy kids are going to make for an unhappy dad. You're living paycheck to paycheck. It's not that hard to, when you go to the grocery store, spend an extra $5 on something that you're going to put away in the closet somewhere. I mean, you can go out and buy 5 pounds of spaghetti noodles, okay? I mean, that's $5, $1 a box, right? You can go out and buy probably 3 to 5 pounds of dried beans, okay? There you go. You can go buy a bag of flour, $5. Okay, so now what have you come up with? We're in a city. I'm going to take a guess. You're talking about an apartment, so maybe not growing your own tomatoes, but you can if you got a porch. Okay, but all right, you got a bag of flour. You've got some beans. Guess what? You can make tortillas. You can make refried beans. You've now got a healthy meal because there's a lot of protein in beans. Okay, very inexpensively. You got those spaghetti noodles. If you can, maybe the next week you go and buy a couple of cans of ragu or whatever. Now you put an extra $5 in the grocery store. If you put 10, that's even better. But anybody can come up with an extra $5. I tell this to my subscribers all the time for people that are in that kind of scenario. Sit down at the end of the day when you're watching TV or the kids are playing or whatever. There's a website called Opinion Outpost. Okay, opinionoutpost.com. You can go on there and do surveys, and there are all sorts of them. It's brain dead work. Just do it. You can make yourself a couple of $100 a month doing surveys, sitting down for an hour a night. Okay, think about, you put $200 a month into putting food away in your scenario here. In a year, you got $2,400 worth of food. That's on $2,400. You can put away 6 months of food. Pretty much everything that you need, your kids are now taken care of. That's where you start.
I like it. Very practical advice from the Pinball.
Very easy. It's how most preppers start. Okay, you start with, okay, I want to get a month's worth of food. We don't go 2 weeks because you figure a lot of people have 2 weeks worth of stuff in the pantry because that's how often we get paid. So you get a month's worth of food, then you get 3 months of food, then you shoot for 6 months of food, then you shoot for a year's worth of food. Why shoot for a year's worth of food? You'll appreciate this. Because that gets you through the whole growing season so you can grow more, so you can replace what you used, and now you've canned it all, and it's back on the shelf again. And so you're constantly rotating everything, and you've always got a year's worth of food that'll get you through the next growing season.
I like it.
Right?
Yep, that's right. Sounding good. Okay, well, this has been some great advice. So I'm going to ask you, Pinball, if you have any parting words of advice for the viewers, and then where can they find you?
All right. Parting advice, pay attention to what's going on in the world around you, because as much as all of us hate paying attention to the news and listening to the craziness that comes out of Washington or your state capital or whatever it is, it directly affects you. You've got to separate the wheat from the chaff, okay? Nobody cares about what the Kardashians are doing this weekend or what Dylan Mulvaney's doing, okay? That's just fluff. What's important is what's going on in your local community, which you need to get involved in, okay? What's going on in your state and what's going on nationally, that could affect you. If it doesn't affect you, it's noise. If it has the potential to affect you, then you pay attention to it and you act accordingly. We don't want to be reactive, we want to be proactive. You want to think about, this is what they're talking about, this is the if-then situations. If this happens, what would I need to do? And you take care of it now and get it done. That's basically it. How you can find me? I'm on YouTube, Pinball Preparedness. Real simple.
Check it out, guys. So thanks a lot, Pinball.
Thank you for having me, sir. Appreciate it.
And check out his YouTube channel. And
Lunch Game, Tennessee.
Yeah, me too, man. Super cool. We're out here in the mountains. Very wonderful day. So thank you guys for stopping by, and we'll see you next time. Oh. So there you go, my friends. I hope you found this video useful. If you feel like you gained something from the video, give it a thumbs up. Also, share the video with anyone that needs this knowledge. And Pinball did an interview of me on his channel, so you can check out that video as well. I want to remind you that every Saturday at 12 noon Eastern time, we do a live Q&A right here on the Garden Like a Viking channel, where you can bring all of your garden-related questions, and we will have a chat. I will see you next time, my friends.